Coming up today on this week's episode, my thoughts on the Wii U and its graphical debate, Battlefield 3's PC advantage, not a first, Uncharted 3 collection announced with upcoming Uncharted 3 beta, my exclusive interview with Sony's product manager for Bravia televisions, and much, much more. This is Nick's Gaming View. Hello everybody and welcome to Nick's Gaming View episode number 43. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. Wow, man, it feels great to be back with you guys once again. I know it's been like 2 months since I recorded my last show, and I do apologize for that. It's just that with E3, the partnership deals I'm working on, my time has been extremely limited. It's been very hectic, but things are starting to happen and the show will go back to a weekly state. I promise you that. If you have not been staying tuned, I'm now an official partner with one of the top websites in the world, Daily Motion. They're ranked number 97 to be exact. IGN, they're ranked 1,000 something. So that gives you an idea. They are huge. They get a ton of traffic, and I'm being promoted on their homepage actually today. The show's going live on Saturday, so I may not be up on there, but stay tuned to early next week. I've got something else in the works. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to me. E3 2011 was absolutely a crazy trip. I had the time of my life literally over in Los Angeles. If you guys have not been visiting thegamerx.com pretty much on a daily basis ever since E3 2011, you have missed out on amazing content. We had interviews with people with Uncharted 3, Resistance 3, Madden NFL 12, hands-on with the PlayStation Vita, interview with Super Stardust Delta's producer. We had so much stuff. Gears of War 3. We've had so much stuff, it's ridiculous. I had my limousine experience video, which you guys should get a kick out of. I have a video with Jessica Negri, which is one of the people that I went to E3 with, her running into Cliffy B. Absolutely hilarious, so do not miss out on that. Anyways, it's all on thegamerx.com. Be sure to check it out. Let's go ahead and head into the show. My thoughts on the Wii U and its graphical debate. Announced during Nintendo's E3 2011 press conference, the Wii U made its debut earlier this month, showcasing a tablet-like controller in an attempt to redefine console gaming as the Wii has done so well. Without many details such as exact technical specs and pricing, there are still a lot of questions to be answered, but what we do know is that Nintendo has a lot to live up to with the epic success of its predecessor. So while I was at E3 2011, I was unfortunately not able to get hands-on with the Wii U. I did not have an appointment, and if you don't have an appointment, you have like a 2-3 hour long line, and I wasn't about to waste 2-3 hours to record maybe something for 5 minutes rather than maybe getting 3 or 4 interviews. So I was thinking for you guys, primarily bringing you guys the content that you want. Unfortunately, I was not able to get much on the Wii U, but hopefully I will be able to in the very near future. At the same time, I have been looking at a lot of the content that's been posted, a lot of the announcements, and my thoughts on it. I'm very curious to see how this turns out. The thing is huge. Now, I did see the tablet-like controller in person. It is huge. How exactly that's gonna work out, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if it's gonna go over quite as well as the Wii motion controller. We'll have to wait and see. And then cost of this thing. So the controller itself has been rumored to cost about $150, $200. Then you got the price of the console. It's not adding up to a Nintendo price point. The Nintendo Wii came out $250, cheapest console out. I don't know what's going to happen this go around. We'll have to wait and see, especially with Nintendo's whole idea of releasing hardware and making profit from it day one, whereas Microsoft and Sony, when they release their hardware, they take a cut, making their money off of the software. Nintendo typically doesn't do that. Will this be the first time they're forced to? Possibly. And then the whole graphical debate. Let me get into this right quick. People on the internet, they're flipping out because people are saying that the Wii U surpasses the PS3 and 360 in graphics. Duh, shouldn't it? The Wii U is going to be releasing more than 5 years after the PS3 and 360. 5 years. You know how fast technology moves? 5 years? And you expected the Wii U to still be less powerful than the PS3 and 360? Even though it's coming from Nintendo, you still expected it to be less power. It seems like common sense to me. But who knows? Battlefield 3's PC advantage, not really a first. Electronic Arts announced Battlefield 3 will run at 720p 30 frames per second on consoles while running 1080p 60 frames per second on PC. My question is, what's new here? There are only a select few of titles that have launched this year in full 1080p alone anyways. So this is the question. It's how many titles are fully 1080p anyways? Battlefield 3 comes out 720p 30 frames per second. That's what Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out at. And look how amazing that game turned out visually. Look at the gameplay footage of Battlefield 3 on the consoles. Yes, it's not quite as good as the PCs, but once again, duh, the PC is constantly being updated. The PS3 and 360, PS3 came out 2006, the Xbox 360 came out 2005. That's 5-6 years ago. Whereas with the PC, they have new parts that came out just last week. And you expect that the PC would not surpass the consoles? It's not that DICE can't make the PC and 360 and PS3 run at the same level. They can if they want to, but they're not going to sacrifice for the PC gamers because of the consoles. Because the consoles have older hardware, it will continue to have older hardware than PCs. PCs will always have more power. Common sense. Second thing, why do you care about the specs? There's plenty of 1080p games out there that don't even compare to 720p games visually. So why don't you focus on looking at the game, not worrying about the specs, rather than being like, oh, the game's only 720p, it's not going to look good. Really, guys? Just play the game and enjoy it. Come on now. Anyways, going on to the next thing. Uncharted 3 Collection revealed with upcoming Uncharted 3 beta. On July 22nd, the same day as the Resistance Dual Pack, the Uncharted Collection will launch exclusively on the PlayStation 3, featuring both Drake's Fortune and Among Thieves for the price of $39.99. That's crazy. The Uncharted Collection will also contain an exclusive Uncharted 3 avatar and dynamic theme for your PlayStation 3. $39.99, you get both Uncharted games. That's crazy. If you have not played Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2, you're just hopping on the PlayStation bandwagon and you want to check out Uncharted 3, be sure to pick this up July 22nd for the price of $39.99. That way you can complete both Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, both outstanding games, two of the best titles to ever launch this generation. And then be sure to check out Uncharted 3 when it launches November 1st, 2011. But if you already got your PS3 and you already got the hookup, 28th, you'll be able to check out Uncharted 3 multiplayer. Also, if you did not already see it on thegamerx.com, I actually interviewed one of the developers at Naughty Dog, and he gave me a little run through of Uncharted 3's co-op. I also interviewed him and asked a couple questions. Not sound familiar? Be sure to check out thegamerx.com. It's there waiting for you. Speaking on thegamerx.com, if you haven't been there in a while, the site has been redesigned, completely new design to simplify it for you guys. So please let me know what you think. But back to Uncharted, the beta come out the 28th. The giveaway that I hosted has already ended. Those who want a code, congratulations. But I'm working to get more codes. I may be able to get some more on Tuesday when the beta launches. But like I said, stay tuned early next week because I might have something. Just stay tuned. So let's go ahead and head into my interview with the product manager of Sony's Bravia line televisions. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. I gathered your guys' questions. I got your questions answered. It's about a 13 to 15 minute interview. You do not want to miss out. I'll come right back and wrap up the show. Hello everybody, this is Nick, CEO of thegamerx.com and host of Nick's Game and View. I'm here with a very special guest today. I'd like to introduce you all to Rob Rodriguez, product manager for Sony's ever so popular Bravia television line. How are you doing today, Rob?
I am doing great, Nick. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Now, before we jump into any specifics, can you give us an overview of what your job is at Sony?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm the product planning manager for the Bravia line of LCD TVs, and also for our Sony Internet TVs which have Google TV in them. So what that means is I help figure out what we do to bring new technology into our sets each year, and how to get our TVs and what's the right features to bring to our consumers.
Awesome. Now, can you provide us with an overview of what you guys are bringing to the table this year with your 2011 line of Bravia televisions?
So for 2011, we've got a really fantastic lineup. We've expanded our connectivity more than we've had ever in the past. We've got so many TVs that have the ability to go online and go to Netflix and Pandora and a slew of internet content providers. We have a huge amount of over 40 different internet channels that you can get content from on the Sony television set. We've got more TVs than anybody else with Wi-Fi capabilities. And of course, we've got a bunch of different lines with LED backlighting. And in fact, our XBR, our top of the line, has a full array LEDs. So instead of being edge lit like the majority of our competitors are, our top of the line still has a full line of full back of LED backlighting for phenomenal black level and also for brightness and just incredible 3D performance.
Now, if I understand correctly, the HX929 is the XBR series this year, correct?
Absolutely, yes. You're absolutely right. The 929 is our flagship piece. It is an awesome television.
All right, now one question many of the followers have been contacting me about in regards to the HX929 LED television is that it advertises Motion Flow XR960. Does this really mean that the television displays video in a refresh rate of 960 hertz, or what exactly does this mean?
Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to explain that. So it is a 240 hertz panel, but because of how we're able to manipulate and use the backlighting, LED has such a quick response that we're able to give you the performance as if it was a 960 hertz panel. So the lighting on the 929, because it is a full array of LEDs, when you turn on the full 960 XR, what it does is it will scan incredibly quickly from top to bottom at 960 times. And so even though, like I said, the panel itself is at 240 refresh rate, we're able to scan much higher because of the LEDs to improve and virtually remove judder and also vastly improve the motion experience on it better than any other TV out there.
Awesome. Thank you for clearing that up because I had so many people contacting me. They're like, what's this about? I'm like, I don't know. Well, I'm so glad I got the time to speak with you today to finally get the answer.
There is no 960 hertz panel out there on the market. So it is a 240 hertz panel. But there's a couple of things going on. So you have, Sony has blur reduction. So what it can does, first of all, it looks at that signal and make sure that it takes out any blur or help reduce any blur that might have been captured by the camera or just by the movement of the incoming signal. Then there is frame interpolation, so we can go ahead and create additional frames to improve on motion. And then lastly, the backlight scanning. So that backlight scanning is what I was talking about with the LEDs. And we do that in other models, like for example with our XR480 on our edge lit. The way that the backlight is scanning and blinking can simulate the performance of 480 hertz. With the XBR, because that is our top of the line, we can actually improve on that even further and go to 960. But they are 240 hertz panels.
Awesome. So if you're a gamer, you know you need your games to be smooth. Sony's got you all hooked up there. Now, a lot of people have been talking about 3D. 3D technology has really become the key feature in televisions today. How does Sony separate themselves from the competition, and where do you see the future of 3D heading?
Absolutely. So as far as, comparing against the competition, so when you talk about the motion flow, so having the ability of that great back panel and the LEDs with the scanning that they're doing at that incredibly fast rate, that greatly improves the 3D performance as well. So, the way the active glasses work with the 3D, and by the way, having active 3D means that you get a full 1080p signal, unlike what you would get with a passive experience. You're going to get a full HD signal. Of course, if you're gaming with a PS3 or another gaming system and you've got a high-def game, you definitely want to get all that resolution available to you. So when the So the television and the glasses are in complete sync with each other. So you first get your left eye, then your right eye information, so on and so forth, back and forth. Because of the quick blinking that the TV is enabled to do, the ramp up of that left frame for the left eye and then the frame for the right eye is so incredibly quick that it almost virtually eliminates things like ghosting that you might get between the two frames switching off like you would get with a competitor's piece. So our 3D is just phenomenal this year because of that technology in it. And Sony is completely involved in 3D from the gamut. So we have from creating the content, creating the games, creating the hardware. All steps in the line, and we take that expertise and that knowledge that we get from motion pictures and from the gaming aspect of what is necessary for 3D, and we take that knowledge and we bring that into the electronics world as well to make sure that our TVs can replicate and give you the best experience as well. So there really is a huge knowledge transfer between all of the different Sony companies when it comes to 3D.
Awesome. Now, 3D, it's definitely huge with all these movies coming out, all these devices coming out, but there has been quite a few people that have experienced issues with it. Has there been any research taking place for those who experience eye pains while viewing 3D? And if so, can we expect this issue to improve for those affected soon?
So I haven't seen any studies in particular on it. So I know I saw a study a while back that pretty much just says in general, just there's a certain population of a certain percentage of the population that just has problems with 3D in general, regardless of how it's delivered, whether it's passive, active. It just bothers me. I think that is somewhere under 10% people who just it just doesn't agree with them at all. Period. And so that those numbers won't change when it comes to watching it on TV versus watching it in a movie theater. But we haven't found I haven't seen a study that speaks to as far as any kind of long-term issues at all. I game all the time with it, and I'll jump on Killzone for a couple hours, and I may get exhausted from holding holding up the shooter. But as far as from the 3D though, I haven't had any issues at all with the effect.
All right, now 3D with the glasses is great, but glasses-free 3D technology has become extremely popular this year with new hardware such as the Nintendo 3DS and the HTC Evo 3D launching with this technology. Are you guys working on bringing this to televisions of larger sizes? And if so, how far along has Sony come?
Absolutely. So, that's obviously the holy grail. That's what everyone wants, glasses-free 3D. And we actually showed a couple of different size panels at this past year's CES in Vegas. We showed a 46-inch panel that shows that we can do glasses 3D. The issue that you really have right now with glasses 3D is that everyone's you're trying to perfect the sweet spot. So it works in certain particular areas that you stand, but obviously when people come to your house and they're on a couch, they're seated all over. They're seated all over the room. So how can we get 3D to reach everyone's set of eyes that's at a different distance from the television and at different angles? So that's really the thing that we're still working on, but we're definitely leading the charge on this. This is something that Sony is completely and fully committed to 3D, and that's what we kind of wanted to showcase at CES this past year with all the different 3D options that we showed. And glassless is definitely on the horizon. We're still years off from that, but don't be worried. Sony will definitely be leading the charge when it comes to glasses 3D.
Definitely. Better to do it right than to rush it out, because I have the HTC Evo 3D actually right now, just launched today, and while it's great, the 3D angle, you have to be looking dead on. And looking at a television, you're not always looking at a television dead on. So that's definitely a good thing to hear.
When you have a device that's one-on-one like that, or like the Nintendo piece, you can move it and adjust it so that you are in that sweet spot, so that you don't need the glasses. But now, like I said, how can we get that figured out for an entire room of people all watching the Super Bowl? You're coming over to watch, the latest 3D release on your TV set. That's really where the tweaking is happening, and we're close, but we still want to make sure that it is perfect before it comes to market. So we're going to be using glasses for quite some time for now.
Right. Now, something I felt was revolutionary impressive, because I actually just came back from E3 2011, was Sony's recently announced 24-inch PlayStation 3D display, allowing for multiplayer gaming without the need for split screen. The only downside I found to this product was the size limitation. Can we expect this technology implemented into Sony's larger televisions sometime down the road?
So Considering PlayStation is a different group than us here at Electronics, I can't speak too much as far as what their plans are on any additional television sets. I'm sorry to say that. But yeah, I would, it is definitely cool technology, and because of the quick refresh rate and the way that our televisions work, we're able to go ahead and give you that capability to have that dual screen type of functionality with one screen, which is pretty cool. So I think you're just going to have to stay tuned to see what's in the works for as far as additional sizes.
Gotta stay tuned. I gotta love that. All right, so based off of your experiences, how long have you been working with Sony's Bravia line?
Let me see. I've been with Sony for 10 years. I've been in the television group for the past 4.
Okay, now what do you feel will be the next big thing in televisions once 3D has become an industry standard, if it's not already?
You're trying to get some of the secrets. So what I definitely see in the near future will be a continuance of connectivity, even greater power and processing, and internet connectivity for televisions. Of course, larger sizes. You know, the American public loves larger TVs, so I would think the TVs will continue to get larger and thinner. And prettier as well. Down the road, maybe even higher resolutions. We probably, you've probably been hearing a little bit about 4K in the industry, and it's something that we've already are doing on the pro side of the house. So I wouldn't be surprised down the road if we see some of that sitting in your living room in the next in the years to come.
Awesome. Well, that's about it. I would like to thank you for spending your valuable time to speak with us on what Sony has to offer for not only gamers, but television enthusiasts around the world. Now, before we head out, is there anything else you'd like to share about the future of Sony's Bravia line?
I'll tell you, what I like to say is this year's, if you have been holding off on a great high-end set, this year's XBR is just spectacular. The amount of televisions that have the full LED backlight is starting to go away, and we're still carrying that mantle in our XBR, and there's a reason for it, because we truly care about the performance in the picture. And that TV, I gotta tell you, from a technology standpoint, is a pure marvel. It has got phenomenal 3D, insane picture performance, great connectivity, and it's just a sight to behold. So your viewers and the listeners should definitely go check it out before they make their purchase.
Definitely. Thank you all for the support. That wraps up the interview. Got a lot of information from Rod Rodriguez, so I want to give a huge shout out to him. If you have any more questions, just let me know, and I'll see if I can get them passed on. But that concludes it for the interview, guys. Peace.
Cool. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys, and I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. I couldn't sneak everything out of him. I tried, though, but still, he broke down the technical specs of everything. I want to give a huge shout out to Rob Rodriguez for taking the time to interview with us. I also want to give a huge shout out to Ray from the Sony Bravia PR team for hooking it up for me. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and head into the question of the week. Who do you guys feel had the best appearance at E3 2011? I'm not just speaking on Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. There's Electronic Arts, there's Activision, there's Ubisoft. Let me know what you think and why. People are probably asking, Nick, what do you think? Personally, as far as on a gameplay level, I truly feel that EA blew it out the water with Battlefield 3. I was able to get my hands on with Battlefield 3 and absolutely blown away. I was highly anticipating the game, but I'm hyped now. That game is going to be huge. Be sure to stay tuned to that, because when it launches, you already know all your friends are going to be on it, so do not miss out on Battlefield 3. As far as from the 3 big competitors being Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, I personally do feel that Sony did the best job. They had the games, they had the new PlayStation Vita, they had the announcements, the Wii U. Nintendo did a great job with the Wii U if you're a fan of that. Microsoft, in my opinion, they're focused too much on Kinect. Like I said, I'm not really into motion control gamings, whether it's the PlayStation Move, the Wii controller, Kinect. I'm not a fan of either one. PlayStation Move, I've tried a couple times. Kinect, I've tested at other people's houses. It's okay. The Wii U, the Wii, it's the whole motion thing. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. It's already became a success, but we'll see where it goes from here. So that wraps it up for the show, guys. Next game review episode number 43. Please let me know in the comment section what you guys think, what improvements you would like to see to the show. Once again, I'm sorry for the show not being produced on a weekly basis like it should have, but that will now change. I do apologize. Got a lot of things in the works, but time's going to be dedicated to getting this done weekly, so I do apologize for that, but you don't have to worry about it anymore. Next game review is back in the works. If you want to contact me, you can hit me up at admin@thegameraxe.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter for all my updates, follow me at twitter.com/thegameraxis. That's where I post all my updates, so maybe if there's a delay with the show, an update on the show, or even just the site in general, you'll know if you follow my Twitter. And be sure to check out thegameraxe.com. We got all the content you could possibly want over there. Check out the new site design. Let me know what you think. Thank you all for the support. I'm going to head out. Got something else to work on, so peace.
Access granted.